Right, it now falls to me, and I'm very happy to be able to do this, to introduce Andre and Lydia Vorster to you. So, Andre and Lydia, Andre is a very organized guy. Are you guys at the back there? He's very organized, does his homework. He knew more about EXP when I met him than I did. He actually sought out his sponsor, who we're going to hear from later. His name is Ferdy Abrahams. Ferdy had been his principal many years before that in Remax. And I think, Andre, you'd been following Mike Sherrard a lot on, or Ricky Caruth on social media. And so he knew about EXP. And he had made a decision, when EXP comes to South Africa, I'm joining. So he works as a partnership with Lydia, his wife. They're a selling partnership. They were with Remax. So EXP launches. Andre then gets hold, goes into the EXP website. So I need to find a sponsor. So he sees Ferdy's name and he phones Ferdy. He says, "Hey Ferdy, I see you with EXP." Ferdy's like, "Yeah, man, come, it's awesome." And Andre and Lydia join EXP. And since that day, our business has not been the same. This is a phenomenal couple. Every time I have a conversation with anybody who's in real estate in Cape Town, and I'm trying to convince them to come to EXP, they say, "Oh, that Remax couple, Andre and Lydia Vorster, aren't they they are so well known in the Cape. It's made our job so much easier." So not only are they multiple time capping agents in South Africa, they've built a very large revenue share group. They've got 150 agents in their revenue share team. And not only that, they have become great friends. They are wonderful human beings. And I love being in business with you guys. So give a round of applause to Andre and Lydia Vorster.
I've been wandering through the desert, ain't seen a cloud in forever over me, but I believe the rain is coming. Yeah, I've been hanging on the high hopes, 'cause you're the one who's making dry bones come to life. You're the light I put my trust in.
Hello. Getting used to this.
Steve, thank you so much for that introduction. I think we're going to do what Lisna did and make a clip of that. And whenever we see clients, we're just going to play that to them. It should help.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And Jennifer, wherever you're there, she is. Thank you so much for handing these out.
Good morning. Isn't it awesome to be here? This is a fantastic conference. I can't wait. I mean, someone asked me this morning at reception. They said, "What are you going to do tomorrow?" I said, "Start planning next year's." They said, "Don't you want to take a day off?" I said, "No, we love this conference. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for the opportunity that we can talk to you." When Steve asked us to share something with you, I immediately think, what can we do in 15 minutes that can really leave something with you? And so we decided to go on building relationships. Well, so here we go. In 2005, when I did my training through Steve on working by referral, we've actually decided that that's the way we want to go, and that we're going to work by referral. And that was a conscious choice for us.
Yeah, it actually had to be a conscious choice because everybody was telling us that cold calling is the way to go. And we also knew it was a surefire way to success. But we just didn't have what it took. And actually, to use Glenn's term from yesterday, we really sucked at it. So we had to go this route.
For people to trust you, they really have to like you and know you. And the best way for them to get to know you is if you speak to them and listen to them. Everyone's got a story. And if you listen actively to people, you can get to know theirs. Now, the easiest way to really connect with people is active listening. And I'm going to share something on that. There's 2 secrets. The first thing to active listening is to really listen, make an active decision to listen to that person. And the second one is it is a skill. It's a skill that you have to practice over and over again. Then there's 4 qualities to active listening. The first one is non-verbal communication. You can see if someone is listening to you. The first thing is put away your devices. Isn't it irritating when people look at their watch and read a message while you're talking to them? And the other thing is make eye contact. Then your verbal communication is to ask questions. Ask the right question. The third one is repeating what they say in a question. So if they say something, ask a follow-up question by repeating what they've said. And the fourth one is focus. Really focus on them. Don't be distracted and don't change the subject. Everyone in the world is facing challenges, and we can make a difference. Let your light shine. Be present with purpose and make every moment count. Now, I am blessed to have my husband as the one that knows systems, organized. I can't be an agent without Andre. So I'm going to let Andre describe to you what we do further to keep contact with the people and do it consistently.
Really. Thank you, Lydia. Firstly, I just want to say, I married a real angel on earth. Lydia is just naturally, she is so good at creating warm relationships with people. People just love her because she's really got a caring heart. And speaking of listening, the skills she's talking about now, she's the master of that. She could tell me at any time what I said 15 years ago at a specific restaurant between the main course and dessert. She could tell me what I had for dessert and for the main course. And so it's quite scary, actually, at times. And the nice thing is we have 4 children. And I'm really blessed because those qualities of Lydia really did rub off on all our kids. So I'm surrounded, I'm blessed by these 5 people, and they stuck with me. Okay, I need slides, I'm not like Lydia. Right. So the main thing is these warm relationships that Lydia gets to create and so on. She will nurture them herself anyway because she keeps contact with them. But I've got to bring something to the party as well. So we sort of created systems. It's nothing fancy. It's all existing stuff. And we try and plug them into various systems so that we can sort of keep contact with them and nurture them and add further value to them in their lives. So for a start, obviously, we would take those same people, we'd plug them into our CRM with all their details, connect with them on social media on various platforms so that we can connect there. And then it sounds a bit corny, but make very sure that everybody's on Lydia's phone, maybe mine, for WhatsApp purposes, which we'll talk about a bit later. But then the other thing is, there's so many other sources of leads that you can get. And if you get these leads, sometimes they're a bit colder leads, and you plug them into the same systems, you can create valuable future leads as well. Just a couple of examples. So buyer inquiries, you've got a listing out there that you're advertising. You might get 10 or 20 buyer inquiries. You plug them into the same systems wherever you can, into the CRM. If you can connect on social media, definitely on your phone, on your contacts. Buyer inquiries is an example. Any other inquiries you get, people who maybe want you to do a property assessment. Cold calling, not our strong point, but if you're a cold caller, same thing, the clients you get there, plug them into the systems wherever you can. There's just multiple ways that you can keep contact in the future. Show houses, Brad spoke about show houses, same thing. Anybody from your show houses, just plug them into these systems, and we're going to talk about how you then connect with them later on. And of course, if you do a sale agreement, you'll have buyers and sellers with all their details and birthdays and everything, which you can plug into the systems. Okay, then just talking quickly, CRM, so what happens then? People are in your CRM, so firstly, quite obviously, you will get notifications of their birthdays if you had put that information into the system. Same thing with maybe property anniversaries, and any other information that Lydia will then add as she speaks to people. Maybe she knows that the child's got a birthday at some time, whatever. So all these notifications come up, and she can then make contact again, just a reinforcement of the relationship, either on a call or a WhatsApp or whatever. But then almost more importantly, it's worth gold, is your periodic newsletter, because all those other contacts that are actually cold contacts, if you can keep contact with them, you can keep contact with all of them via a newsletter, periodic newsletter. And that has just proven so valuable to us. I mean, we get people calling us. They just want to give us a mandate to sell their home. We don't know where they came from. And when I track it back, the last one now was last sold just now. The guy was a Property 24 inquiry in 2009. He never went to look at the home. We don't know who he is, but he's been getting our newsletter for years and years and years. So in his mind, we are his agents. So we walk in there, he trusts us, he's seen all our content, gives us the mandate. Thank you. Okay, let's just touch on social media. The same thing. So everybody's in social media. Obviously, when you're running through your feeds, I mean, you just engage with all your social media friends who you've put on there. We don't discriminate or sort of make a distinction between business and personal ourselves. We believe people should know us as the people that we are. So anyway, you're just engaging with them, putting out regular posts yourself, a mixture of business and personal. If we go hiking up Table Mountain, put something on there. People like to see a bit of personal content as well, which they can relate to. And then putting out different other content. We create content. I'm going to talk about what type of content we do there as well. Just quickly on WhatsApp. The Americans are not big on WhatsApp, but I mean, we know that everybody in South Africa is on WhatsApp daily, right? So it's very important that you don't have a normal WhatsApp profile, but a WhatsApp business profile. Because on a WhatsApp business profile, you can just put on so much more information. So you can have a complete biography, you can have links to your website or your digital business card, etc. They've got a catalog function where you could put your listings or just articles or anything. So the point is, when you're engaging, so Lydia is on WhatsApp all day, every day, engaging with people directly, or otherwise interacting on WhatsApp groups. We're all on groups, whether it's your school's kids groups, sport groups, hobby groups, neighborhood watch.
If I can jump in there, your WhatsApp status update. I try to update my status every day. And you'll be surprised of how many people that you don't talk to daily look at your status.
That is actually mind-boggling. She shows me at the end of the day often how many views she's got on her WhatsApp status. So the more people you actually have on your contacts and they've got you on their contacts, some people only use WhatsApp almost as a social media platform. They're just looking at WhatsApp status all the time. So that's another thing. Okay, talking about just content, newsletter, content creation, etc. One's got to find your own little niche. So we do various things. The main thing is trying to provide value to people when we put out our newsletter. Interesting information about your area or handy property tips, etc. I eventually made the leap and started doing videos. It was very difficult at the start, but it's turned out to be very valuable for us. That makes it easy. So I make a sort of an educational video about the sales process, the registration process, or the 72-hour clause, all sorts of problem areas, foot stewards, things like that. And when I've made that, that gives me a lot of content for social media or newsletters to send out. And it gives you very good traction because people are getting to know you. So if you're not making videos, you need to really start. It's like Lizna said yesterday, you don't have to be great to start, but you must start to be great. And I'm not great, but I'm putting it out there and people are relating to us because of that. But the other thing is, okay, that's the main problem. Why don't agents do newsletters or put out valuable content on these platforms? It's because we don't know what to do. We don't know what should we write about, what content should we create. Now that's just all become so easy lately with artificial intelligence and ChatGPT, etc. I mean, you can now, there's no excuse not to create content to put out there. We did a webinar, Steve and I actually, a complete webinar last year on just how I use ChatGPT to get content ideas firstly, create the complete content for those ideas in different formats. We'd gladly share the recording with you. We just go in depth into the different possibilities using ChatGPT, but there's no more excuses for any of us. Okay, starting to wrap up. So the main thing about content creation and putting it out there constantly, various types of content creation that will make you stand out as an expert in your area and in your field, is people are more likely to engage with businesses that they know and like and trust. So you need to build and nurture your relationships and add value with regular contact marketing. And in that manner, you'll stay top of mind and your personal brand will be known in your area. For extra reinforcing, we also do paid advertising on Facebook, Meta. So even if just property listings, we're advertising because you're geographically targeting them. So your sellers in the area are also seeing that you're advertising the listings. It's just extra reinforcing through the paid marketing platforms. Also just regular sort of branding, advertising and so on, very geographically targeted. Now, I've been doing that for a long time, and it can be quite technical in Meta businesses back end to do these things. But again, there's no more excuses because you've got platforms like Flow Marketing, which makes it very easy. They charge a subscription, but then they make it super easy for you to place the ads, and you only have to pay for the ad spend, apart from your monthly subscription. And luckily, we at EXP, thank you, Andrew, we have a free subscription to Flow Marketing, so we only have to pay for the ad spend. Okay, then the other thing, this is that, so your business usually goes up and down. Ours did as well. And the reason it goes up and down very often is because you neglect the lead generation activities. It's just so easy to rather do other stuff. It's so easy, so if I say you should time block for whatever lead generation activities you choose to do. Get your own thing that works for you. These are just ideas. Time block that, make sure it's like a doctor's appointment. You don't do anything else in that time. Because it's just so easy. Obviously, we'd rather go and have a coffee with a client or a colleague or whatever. There's always something better to do. And you get a new listing, you're running around with buyers, you're doing OTPs. So for a couple of weeks, no lead generation is being done, and you feel that later on. So make sure you do that, time block it. Effort plus consistency, that's the big thing, equals results. Thank you. I specifically just want to thank all our American friends that we've made for the huge sacrifice of your time and coming out and sharing all your valuable information with us. It's been so great getting to know you, and we really, really appreciate it. Steve, we can never thank you enough for being such a good mentor and a friend.
No, thank you, guys.
If
Give me
I
a round of
can
applause.
just-
Stay here.
Last one.
Can I end with
No,
a
go for
quote?
it. I'm going to ask you some questions anyway.
Okay, if I can just end with a quote from Mother Teresa. We can't all do great things, but we can do small things with great hearts. Great hearts.
Right.
Thank you.
Stay here. Stay here. Stay here. Stay here. Aren't they wonderful? Huh?
Thanks.
So, I remember a friend of mine who was actually a Harcourts trainer said to me one day, he said, Stephen, what you've taught agents to do for 20 years is systemized love. So, and what he was saying was, I've always taught on this thing, database. You've got to have a database, and you've got to have meaningful contact with that database, and an email newsletter is the foundation of your database communication, because then your database can get as big as you want it to. You can have 10,000 people on your database list, and they're getting a weekly email or a fortnightly email, and if they don't like it, they can unsubscribe. That's how I've built my business, bulk email. But the point, I think a lot of agents think that is like the antithesis of caring for people. And actually, well, I mean, talk to that. Like, it's not that you don't care. It's you are building relationships, but you do. So just talk to how those two interact, the relationships and the technology.
I go. Look, the business we're in is primarily personal relationships. So the part that Lydia does, I don't do as successfully, is the primary thing for an estate agent. You got to create warm relationships with people. They must really know you and like you, and they will send you referrals later on. So we plug them into systems, but that's not to get rid of them. Lydia still keeps contact with them on a personal basis. But your systems, especially, like I explained, that can add the masses with who you won't have personal relationships for any reason until they get to know, because you just don't have contact with them. And those systems, especially newsletters, etc., a buyer that's plugged into the system, if you don't plug him in and years later you realize you've missed out on 5,000 contacts.
Birthdays. I mean, even birthdays. If it's not in the system, you wouldn't remember.
Exactly. And people like buyers, you don't have their birthdays.
Yeah.
So you've got to keep contact in a different way.
So if you're not using the tech, you're not going to remember the birthday,
That's right.
and that's highly relational, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, guys, I think there's a huge lesson to be learned in all of that. One last question I've got is, so there's an agent sitting out here somewhere. In fact, most of them, if they don't have a partner that they're working with, I mean, you guys are quite opposite, and we generally do marry our opposites. We complement each other's strengths, and you're the systems guy, you're good at relationships. There's an individual agent here sitting saying, I can't do that. I can't do the tech. I can't do the database. I don't like the bulk email. I don't know where to start. What would your advice be to them?
Definitely get an assistant. I mean, the systems are also easy. With EXP, you get the CRM, a choice, and PropCon is easy. It's short video, so you can do it. I can do it, and I hate tech.
But she doesn't like doing it.
But I do it. So but if you then can get an assistant, even if it's for an hour a day or an hour a week, because they can just update that for you.
Right.
Yeah. We are very fortunate to have each other, but you must understand we work as one agency. No, we're not two agents bringing in our own income each. We work as one. So obviously, even though I'm doing one portion and Lydia's doing another portion of this whole system, we basically have to produce for two agents anyway. But as an individual agent, exactly like Lydia says, firstly, it's not that difficult, and you don't have to do everything. You just need to find something and do it consistently. And then, yes, you could easily get an assistant to do a lot of the administrative type of things that I sit doing.
Okay, super. Thank you, guys. Give them a round of applause. Thank you.